Today we're going to take a look at some notorious breeds of man's best friend. We have examples of this guy who can hunt pumas and this one whose bite can crush bone. But before them, let's talk about the doggo version of a sumo wrestler. The Japanese Tosa. Huge, thick, and strong like sumo wrestlers, the Japanese Tosa is the only breed used in Japan for dogfighting. Originating around the latter half of the 19th century, the species resulted from the native Shinkoku Inu crossing with European dog breeds such as the Old English Bulldog, the English Mastiff, the St. Bernard, and Bull Terrier. Because of their varying genetics, the Tosa can weigh anywhere between 36 kilograms to 90, depending on the nationality of the breeder. They also have short reddish coats with blocky heads and thick muscular necks. A Tosa's lifespan, much like most dogs at this point, is about 10 years. If you plan on owning one, prepare your wallet though, because they're pretty rare nowadays, unlike the time of their breeding heydays back in the 1920s, so buying them would cost you a penny or two. Also, you need to train them well. Despite being a quiet breed, the Tosa can act aggressively towards strangers and not follow parental commands if brought up recklessly. However, that doesn't mean that this scary behavior is a common thing. Thus far, recorded episodes of Tosa aggressiveness and violence are few and rare. If anything, their fighting with other big dogs looks like how puppies would topple each other on a playdate. Pretty cute, am I right? Well, the reason why these good boys are considered harmful and why they're banned from several countries, it's their ancestry. Yeah, mostly just that. Kind of unfair to be honest. Dogo Argentino. You know those cute little beagles people usually go out hunting with? Well, meet its big brother, the Dogo Argentino. Dogo Argentinos quite obviously hunt more than just rabbits. These big muscular hunting dogs are capable enough to hunt wild animals such as boars and pumas. Much like the Tosa, this guy was the result of crossing several European breeds of dog again. In 1928, Antonio Norres Martinez, a doctor, set out to breed a dog that could hunt big game that would also be capable of being a loyal pet and a guard dog. He picked the now extinct Cordoba fighting dog as the base parent, which was said to be large, ferocious, and a great hunter. He then crossed it with breeds such as the Great Dane, the Bull Terrier, and the Irish Wolfhound. From these mixes, Martinez continued to develop the breed via selective breeding to get his desired traits in. In 1970, he brought the first 6 puppies of the Dogo Argentino to America. Aside from being hunters, these dogs are trained for search and rescue, police assistance, and helpers. They're intelligent and brave, with an instinct to protect their home and families. Dogos make vital distinctions between family and strangers, so it's necessary to train and socialize them well from an early age. This potential aggression makes them feared and outlawed in different countries. Today there are many recorded instances of dogos being violent towards people, one of which led to the death of a middle-aged couple. American Pit Bull Terrier. Born in the mid-19th century from the crossbreed of the now extinct Old English Terriers and Old English Bulldogs, the American Pit Bull Terrier carries the gameness, strength, and athleticism of its forefathers. Unlike other big dogs, the Pit Bull Terrier has an average lifespan of 12 to 14 years. This makes it sound like they won the genetic lottery. However, the breed does suffer from bone diseases such as degenerative myelopathy, hip dysplasia, and kneecap dislocation. Not only that, but they may also suffer from skin problems such as allergies and thyroid and congenital heart defects. Suddenly, they don't sound so lucky anymore, am I right? According to the United Kennel Club, essential characteristics of the American Pit Bull Terrier are strength, confidence, and a zest for life. This trio of traits makes them enthusiastic and eager to please their owners. They're also excellent family pets, especially for their love for children. Oh, and despite their intimidating appearance, they actually don't make that great of a guard dog. Surprising, am I right? It's because they can be extremely friendly, even with strangers. Granted, that doesn't mean not to exercise caution, though. Because of its enthusiastic personality and robust body, the breed does tend to exhibit some aggression, the main reason for it being excluded in countries such as Australia. If you're in a nation where owning one is legal, carefully socialize and obedience train the dog, please. If you're able to do that, then you have a best friend for life who'd love you and your family forever, and one you could dress up in cute little pajamas. Presa Canario. Could you imagine that this dog breed was nearly extinct in the 1960s? The Presa Canario, formerly called Dogo Canario until 2018, was born through the crossbreeding of the Bardino Magero, a breed that lived throughout the Canary Islands. It also had various Molossus dogs, a fancy word meaning breeds from ancient Greece during the colonial period. Initially bred for dogfighting, the Presa Canario is a heavily muscular dog that stands at about 62 to 66 centimeters tall and weighs anywhere from 40 to 65 kilograms. This of course depends on whether it happens to be a male or a female. Its head is massive, broad, and square, with ears usually cropped so that it may make more of a formidable expression. Knowing all this, would it be surprising to learn that the Presa Canario is dominant? These guys are pretty aggressive and unpredictable, making it difficult to tell when they want to attack. This is the biggest reason causing them to get banned from certain countries. Sad as it is to hear, there have been instances of them killing humans. The latest report was in 2017 when 3 of these dogs killed a woman in Ireland. Now, having said that, the Presa Canario is actually docile towards its owner and family. All we're suggesting is that if you do happen to own one, please train them early in life on how to socialize and interact with others. Also, kindly be careful about leaving them with other dogs or strangers so that difficult situations like those mentioned above never happen again. Neapolitan Mastiff. We've talked about adult dogs who have been bred from as recent as the 1920s to as far back as the colonial era, but what about dogs whose ancestry goes before then? Emerging from Tibet when Upper and Lower Egypt were unified, the Neapolitan Mastiff's ancestors worked as guard dogs. Their modern counterparts that we see these days were later developed in southern Italy. As much as the sagging, loose skin and facial wrinkles look somewhat terrifying on them, these 200-pound dogs are highly affectionate. So much so that they're actually considered giant lapdogs. They have a mean stare and all, but they're no fighting hounds. They're steady and loyal and would only attack if there's a reason to. This makes them sound like the perfect house pets, am I right? Well, not exactly, at least if you live in an apartment or condominium. They're so big that if they lounge around your place, they'd probably have redecorated the entire room to find a comfortable enough resting spot for them to sit. Oh, and don't forget to force them to exercise, and yes, I have said force. They tend to be lazy, become obese, and eventually develop a disease that significantly shortens their 10-year lifespan. They sound adorable, so why would anybody ban these dogs? Well, for one, their size. Remember when I said they're giant lapdogs? Yeah, that pair with a small child could spell disaster. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Also, some of the Neos are unfortunately psychologically ill, which could in turn make these gentle giants quite dangerous. Fia Brasileiro. Bred in Brazil centuries ago, these guys are made to be big game hunting and working dogs. You can expect them to be considered aggressive, earning them a spot on the ban list in several countries. However, if the owner devotes time to training and socializing them, starting from their puppy stage, they're one of the most loyal breeds. After all, there's a reason faithful as a Fila exists in Brazil. The Fia has high energy levels, necessitating owners to bring it out for walks at least 4 times a day. It sounds tiresome, but hey, look at the bright side. You're trying to stay healthy or get into a good exercise regimen, at least you have a good accountability buddy. Anyway, if they aren't running around or working, the Fila could usually be found resting near their people. Don't let this fool you though. As docile as they look during their resting periods, if something catches their attention or aggravates them, lounging goes to lunging quickly. By the way, they don't make good house pets. Despite how devoted they can be, Brasileiros do not take well to children. That honestly might just be because they view anything smaller than them as prey. However, if you don't want this dog to attack your partner in crime and you got kids, don't train just the dog. Teach your kids how to interact with it appropriately so that no unwanted injuries occur. After all, you wouldn't want them to be the next thing that your pet traps. Borbel. These big intimidating dogs are a farmer's best friend. Acting as a gigantic protector to farmers of South Africa, Borbels defend their homesteads from predators such as hyenas and lions. Outside of their guard duty though, they're calm, friendly, and loving pets who especially harbor a soft spot for their human children. That being said, they're probably not the best breed for first-time owners though. They can be confident and territorial, prone to chewing our favorite furniture, and of course experience and proper assertion are needed to train this pup, and ideally, a massive chunk of space. The reason for that is because the Borbel is very muscular. So muscular they weigh as much as Great Danes, despite being visibly shorter. They also need plenty of exercise, both physically and mentally. If left alone for too long, they can become destructive out of boredom and anxiety. Honestly, that's pretty terrifying, especially after you learn that they're the most agile of the Mastiff family. As for their own personalities, the Borbels are happiest when given a job to do. This can range from being guards to doing farm work or even turning them into competition canines that would make them flail around in joy. Remember when we mentioned that they love children? Yeah, they love their families and kids so much that they get pretty overprotective. Good luck to whoever tries to sneak off at night because somebody's out to bust you. So why they're on this list? Well, when untrained, the Borbel becomes aggressive and may bite. These bites are fatal and may tear muscles and tendons, and in some worst cases, crush bone. The American Bulldog. Who said only bird friends could fly? Because that's a lie. Sort of. The American Bulldog can jump 6 feet or more into the air, and hey, that's practically flying, right? Okay, in all seriousness though, for dogs that are stocky and muscular, they're very agile. They love workouts and practically require their owners to be the same so that they go out on plenty of walks and runs. Be careful of leaving them alone for too long though. Like some of their friends on this list, they can get bored and become destructive if not mentally and physically exercise enough. So how did they come to be? Well, the ancestor of the American Bulldog is the Old English Bulldog. Honestly, who would have guessed? Working-class immigrants brought their pets over to North America to help them work on the farms. Later, the farmers bred their dogs with those who had the best qualities for all-around farm work. The resulting bully became incredibly helpful with handling cattle and hunting, and they also had powerful jaws and strong bodies that helped take down wild pigs. Sadly, they did almost go extinct by the end of World War II. This is because they were used for the blood sport of bull baiting. I heavily recommend against you googling illustrations of what that is though. Just know that the poor dogs struggled to survive those encounters. Thanks to a couple of breeders who scoured for surviving members of the breed, however, the American bully race was revived and today enjoys life as family companions. Now it's time for the day's best pick. We've been pretty serious so far about breeds not allowed in certain states, but what about these silly boys who just want to have fun? I mean seriously, just look at these two wearing their masks. The Moody. No, this dog is not the hellhound it appears to be. It simply just had a pine cone in its mouth when that photo was taken. The Moody is an alert, active, intelligent, trainable herding dog. They can do anything from watchdog duties, hunting, competitions, search and rescue, etc., etc. Pretty talented, right? Based on the name, you'd probably think they're severe dogs with a mood swing or two, though. Actually, they're the exact opposite. The Moody is an upbeat, enthusiastic, and happy dog who loves being given tasks and challenges. Oh, and it would always be ready to work hard and play harder. Maintenance of this pet is relatively easy, as they need little impersonal care and grooming. And despite them loving exercise, don't worry, they're willing to take days off too and relax from time to time. Sounds like a great pet and all, but the Moody is a rare breed. They mostly live in Hungary and parts of Finland, but in other countries, well, good luck finding a breeder. In case you would like one though, according to records, the Moody was born from the natural mixing of German Spitz dogs with Hungarian herding breeds, such as the Puli and the Pumi. So if you know a couple of friends with those breeds, hey, you know what to do. After hearing about how rare they are though, one shouldn't be surprised to learn that they almost disappeared. Sadly, many of them did die during World War II, and it's only thanks to breed conservationists that they're still here today. The Doberman. Originating from Germany in the late 19th century, Doberman pinschers were mainly bred to be guard dogs. With their athletic build, smarts, and high energy levels, Dobermans perform well in police and military work, though they can also opt to be family guardians and companions. Since they only came into existence recently, the Dobies are considered the new kid on the block. Thankfully, instead of being ostracized, they became recognized and famous, with lots of people choosing them to be their beloved house pets. Despite that, however, some folks are still pretty scared of them. This is because they have a rather fierce reputation. There's a stereotype of the Dobie being highly aggressive and vicious. While it's true that they're capable guardians, if given a chance, they can show you that even though they're watchful, they're gentle and loving dogs who don't go looking for trouble. That isn't to say they won't leap at the first sign of danger though, because they will fearlessly protect their families and home. As ideal as they do sound to some of us here, they're unfortunately not exactly the right breed for everyone. Dobies are large and weigh anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds and prefer being extremely active, both physically and mentally. This in turn requires their owners to give them lots of exercise. Not only that, but they do need someone who would take the time to properly train and socialize them, which may make them difficult to handle for those who prefer to live a more laid-back lifestyle. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Band Dog. Unfortunately, also in the name, the Band Dog is a breed that is banned in many places. Are they terrible though? Well, not really. The reason they're outlawed kinda comes down to genetics really. Band dogs aren't necessarily a specific breed, but rather a cocktail of any master with a pit bull terrier, and we know how their parents fare. Whatever genetic makes you do of that cross-family tree, there is something that you can be certain of. They're going to be massive and domineering, making them the ultimate guard dog. Band dogs can weigh anywhere from 39 to 64 kilograms, be as tall as 30 inches, and have a muscular body. They're perfectly content even in apartments or smaller homes though, so long as they get their daily walks. But again, are they vicious? That really depends. You'll realize that they're very gentle and loving creatures when trained well, and I can say that from experience. Emphasis on taught well though, they're incredibly courageous and would not falter from protecting their humans from any perceived threat. So sketchy strangers beware, because there is no such thing as warning barks from this breed. Around their family, they're pretty much the babysitters. You fall asleep on the couch for several hours, expect your doggo to bonk you right on the head to check if you're still alive. Be a little observant when they're hanging out with your kids, however. These pets pretend to be lapdogs from time to time, and I do remember when ours sat on my legs for half an hour. I don't think I felt blood on my thighs for a while after. If all that sounds great to you, give them a chance. They're pretty great. See you all next time!